Hello everybody, it's time once again for another still frame review, and since it is the middle of February, I thought something Christmas themed would be appropriate. So by request of my friend Nathaniel, or Nate as he's known online, I'm going to review the latest live action Marvel show to come out on Disney+, Hawkeye. The 6-part series features Kate Bishop, who is played by Hailee Steinfeld, a young arching enthusiast and Hawkeye fan who gets mistaken for the Ronin, Hawkeye's old assassin personality, and she gets in trouble with the Tracksuit Mafia, who are trying to get revenge for his previous deeds against their own crime syndicate. And so she teams up with Clint Barton / Hawkeye, played by Jeremy Renner, who tries to help her get out of the mess she's created for herself, defeat all his enemies, and get home in time for Christmas. This may be a little bit of a short review because, in all honesty, there ain't a whole heck of a lot to say. This is basically your typical Marvel show. There's nothing really new about it. There's the same quippy bathos humor. Bathos, I still haven't figured out how to pronounce that word. There's the same action style and cinematography style, and over these past 10 years or so, Marvel has found a formula that people like, and it's a formula I like, and they're sticking to it. In fact, the main character of Kate Bishop is not all that new with her external qualities. We've had several female superheroes. She's rich, but we already had that with Tony Stark. She's young, we already had that with Peter Parker, and she's an archer, which of course was already Hawkeye's thing. And in fact, speaking of Peter Parker and Tony Stark, her personality and relationship with Clint is kind of the same thing already as Peter Parker and Tony Stark. So there's nothing really, anything fundamental about this series that's different. The only little differences I could talk about that's unique and worth exploring are the little surface level details that make this series just a tiny little bit different from everything else that's come before it. The trappings, if you will. And I do enjoy most of the trappings in this show. For instance, the Broadway show chronicling the life of Steve Rogers was pretty funny. I like that this is Christmas themed. Christmas is always one of my favorite holidays, and it looks fun seeing all these Christmas decorations around, and it's a nice, fresh aesthetic to the Marvel universe. And Hawkeye having to do battle in a LARPing club was also pretty funny. I like the murder mystery aspect that's thrown in there in the mix, although, you know, the murder mystery was about as mysterious as a Scooby-Doo episode. It didn't really take that much to figure out who did it. But the main thing I really liked about the show is Hawkeye himself. And I like that Clint is one of the few family men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's nice to have that element of normality thrown into this mix of eclectic characters. It's good to know that some of these characters still value family, like Clint, and I suppose Wanda in WandaVision as well. It feels a little less Hollywood and more in line with the values of the normal people who go to see these things. Although I wish the family member characters in this particular show had been a little more active characters instead of the MacGuffin Clint's trying to reach at the end of the story. Although I think they were teasing at the end that the wife is going to come back later in maybe more of an active role. And I hope Jeremy Renner will also come back. He's very enjoyable, and I do like his performance in this show. And I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that also Florence Pugh makes an appearance, and I like her. She's a really good actress. So overall, it was a pretty enjoyable show, although, like I said before, not very original. I'm just picking out the little unique things, and they were all very surface level. So I'm gonna give this a C for Clint is the best Hawkeye. The series Hawkeye is enjoyable, but after a stream of Marvel sameness coming before it, it's a little stale. That's what I thought of Hawkeye. What did you think of Hawkeye if you've seen it? If you had to give it a letter grade, what letter would you give it? Also, let me know of any other movies or television shows you'd like me to review. This is Joseph Unick signing off. See you later.